All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Product Training with Blue Triangle. Today, we're going to talk about how to customize your dashboards. So, you're probably familiar with the dashboard in Blue Triangle, and you might have even already set up a custom dashboard yourself. But if that's not you, that's okay, because today we're going to go into all of the features and functionality in the Blue Triangle dashboard, and especially focus on creating those custom dashboards. All right, so my name is Mark, and I'm the support manager here at Blue Triangle, and I do these training sessions each week about various topics related to web performance, analytics, and ultimately how to solve problems using Blue Triangle. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start out and just talk at a high level, kind of housekeeping, how to get around in the dashboard. The next thing we'll touch on is what is the difference between pre-configured and custom dashboards. You may have seen that term pre-configured in the portal, and we'll help clarify that for you. The next thing is we're going to go ahead and create a new custom dashboard, and I'll show you how to do that. Shortly followed by how to add widgets to that new custom dashboard. And then we're going to close it out with kind of a summary of the latest new widgets in the dashboard. We did do a training on this topic, the dashboard, a little over a year ago, and there have been some pretty significant changes to the dashboard in that year, and we'll discuss those and some of the new widgets that we've added. And finally, we'll do a little Q&A toward the end. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump over to Blue Triangle. Okay, so here we are in Blue Triangle, and this is what the dashboard is going to look like the first time you get to it. So before we get into kind of the data that's showing up here, I'm going to just talk about kind of navigating in the dashboard. So probably the most important thing I'll point out first is this wrench over here is going to open up the dashboard manager. So this is where you can see all of the dashboards that you have. This little P tag here means pre-configured. And what you're going to notice is all 5 of these dashboards are ready for you right out of the box when the very first time you log into Blue Triangle. So when you favorite one, that means it'll be your default dashboard. It'll show up the first time you go to the dashboard, the next time you log in. The other thing you can do is just go straight to that dashboard and view it. So we don't have any custom dashboards set up right now, but you'll be able to delete those custom dashboards. These pre-configured ones will just stay here. And then the carousel is a pretty cool feature. You can rotate your dashboards on a interval, and then you can share your dashboards here as well. So there's a couple of these features are disabled because we don't have any custom dashboards yet, but I just want to talk through some of the high level kind of management and getting around in here. So I'm gonna go back to the dashboard manager, but a few things I'll just point out up top. So in the top left, this is your dashboard selector. Here you can see all of your pre-configured dashboards, and you can actually go ahead and switch to the different ones by clicking on them. Here's our RUM performance detail dashboard. And then down here you would also see any shared or custom dashboards that you have. Right next to that is the site selector. We just have our demo site, but if you had multiple sites, you would see those listed here, and you could change that. The other thing is the time period, the look back selector here. You can choose from any of these options listed here. Our auto refresh by default is every 5 minutes. You can drop that down to 2 minutes, or you can push it out to 15, 30, or 60 minutes. you want to manually refresh the dashboard, you can actually click this button right here as well. And the other thing is the carousel. Right now I have it off, but you can actually go in and set the interval, and that'll turn it on. And when you do that, you'll notice this little bar sliding across the top as you switch through your dashboards. So I'm going to just disable that. And again, that will, let me go back over to our site overview dashboard. So that carousel is going to cycle through any of these dashboards, including the custom dashboards that we'll create here in just a second, that have this selected. So right now, nothing is in the carousel, and then I can add these three, hit save, and now these three would be in the carousel. So let's go ahead and create a new custom dashboard. So you can do that from here. There's also a button up here at the top, right next to the wrench icon. But we'll just create it right in here. When you click that, you're going to get a new row here, and you're just going to give it a name, Mark's Demo Dashboard. Go down to here and hit save, and you'll be taken right to that new dashboard. Before you add a widget, I'll just show you. Here you'll notice, you're able to delete and share this dashboard. All right, and it's as easy as that. So we have our dashboard. The next thing we'll want to do, obviously, is create a widget. So you get this button here and this one here. If you go ahead and click that, this is going to take you into our widget wizard. And as you can see, it's really nice how it's laid out into the different categories. So if you click one of these, it's going to show you the available widgets for that category. That would be the real user. So this is great, for example, if you're on the business and marketing side of the organization, you can click into these and find those widgets that are going to be more relevant to you. Same for if you're on the DevOps side, you'll probably find yourself in the real user synthetic, maybe in the alerts widgets. Let's go ahead and just create our first widget. So I'm going to click real user there. Most of the time when you click on one of those categories, you're going to get this list of widgets here, and you can see it's broken out by line graphs, bar graphs here, summary tables, and other at the bottom. Another really nice thing is there's this thumbnail here, and it kind of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like before you go ahead and add it to your dashboard. But if you do have any more questions about maybe what the widget is actually going to show, what kind of data is going to be there, you can click that See Example button, and that will take you to our Help Center with an article. You'll get a blown up view of that thumbnail, and you'll see some help documentation about what kind of data is actually in that widget. So let's go ahead and choose the performance graph. The last thing here is you're going to give this widget a name, and then you're going to go ahead and apply any filters. So RUM per performance desktop. So one thing you'll notice as you're going through these is some widgets may have more or less filters than others, and that just depends on what kind of widget you're working with. But here, just a standard RUM real user performance widget, we're going to have all of those filter options. So I'm going to go down and choose the desktop device here, and we're going to add the widget to our dashboard. Awesome. And just like the real user performance detail page, and this graph is also in the site overview dashboard, you can toggle on and off these legend items just like everywhere else in Blue Triangle. Another thing is, once you have multiple of these on the dashboard, you can rearrange them expand them or shrink them in size. You can move them around. I'm going to go ahead and add another to give you an idea of that. So let's go ahead and do a synthetic. Let's do a synthetic performance widget. All right. So now with synthetic, you'll notice we have the ability to select our script name and the synthetic, the filter options that are pertinent to synthetic data, like the synthetic agent location and some of those others. So we're just going to look at all of our synthetic data. So I'm going to just add that widget as well. And there we go. So as I mentioned, you can blow these up as big as you like, and you can rearrange them by clicking and dragging. All right, so yeah, the one thing I really wanted to stress is based on your needs and what you'd like to see in a dashboard, you can really focus in on those things using these categories. So for example, if you're the tag governance manager, these are some great widgets for that. So these are some of the widgets that would show up, for example, on the tag governance overview page, where you see things like first versus third party composition and activity and performance. All right, so one more thing I'll show you is up here in the top right, you can share with my company account. So when you click that, what you're going to do is share this with all of the users in your account, and it'll show up in that shared section, like I showed you before. So since it's your dashboard, you're just going to see it here as usual. But I actually have another user that I can pull up. So this is another user under our demo account, and if I look in the drop down, let me refresh the page here. If I look in our drop down, we should see the Marks demo dashboard. In the dashboard manager, you'll also see that appear here as a shared account dashboard. With this little tag here, you'll be able to see who the owner is. If there's a long list of those, you can actually just hide those using this button down here if you'd like. All right. So that is how to create a new dashboard and add widgets to that dashboard. The next thing I'm going to get into is just some of our latest new widgets in the portal. I know that I mentioned we did a training a little while back, and there's been some new widgets that have been added to the dashboard since then. So I just wanted to touch on some of those, and you may recognize them from some of the other new pages in the portal. So I'm going to just delete these widgets. So we're going to create a new widget, and we're going to go in and look at the real user SLA violations widget. So this is basically going to be a summary of what you see on the SLA status page, which is in tag governance. So for this one, all we need to do is choose our filter group, and I'm just gonna leave it as that default. So when we add that widget to the page, it says there's no SLAs in violation right now. So to give you a little idea of what that would look like, if I open up the real user list of things here, if I click see example, we can actually see a little depiction of what that would look like. You'll see your SLA threshold name, the configured SLA, and the measured value, and of course the domain and file. Another one I wanted to point out was the performance summary widget. This was another one that was added recently, and this one's great because it shows essentially the table at the top of the real user and synthetic performance detail pages. So you get your page hits and your sessions, and then all of the performance metrics over our time period. So you can always have a high level look at all of those performance metrics. So this performance summary widget is also available in synthetic, and it's actually the first one in the list here. You can choose that. All right, so another good one is this error tracking and performance widget. So under synthetic, this is a very popular one, and I think for good reason, because it's very insightful. Error tracking. So what this is going to show is all of your synthetic monitors and their performance and error state over time. Sorry, there was one more thing I wanted to mention about the performance summary widget, and that is you can go into the settings and you can actually turn on and off some of those boxes. So maybe you're only focused on a few metrics. You can actually disable those and just zone in on, let's say, on load and time to interactive, and then that would allow you to shorten up that performance summary, so you can actually customize that even further. This error tracking and performance widget is what you're going to see on the synthetic performance overview page. Like I mentioned, you get each of your synthetic monitors listed here along with their performance and error state. Here you can see the time period over which this data is showing us, and you can see the average performance and the last measured time, and you can see how that compares to the average. The other thing is you can change the displayed metric. So right now I think we're just looking at the on-load performance time. You can change that there. You can also go in and configure a few more things. You can change the size and spacing of these each of these rows and some other things. So that one is great for synthetic monitoring. Another good one in synthetic that I'll show you is the first and third party function timing widget. So that's this one down here. And if you've seen our homepage training, you might have noticed this one is on that page as well. So first, so this one's great to give you a sense of where are the slowest running functions coming from on my website. And you can look at that third party versus first party, or just all of them together. And you can choose to see that in a table or the graph, and that'll update for you automatically according to the look back period. All right, one other one from the from our new homepage is the top priorities widget. So this one is part of a new system we have running in the background, which shows you it's automatically scanning your data and looking for anomalies. And when it finds them, it prioritizes and bubbles them up here in this widget for you. So this could be in any module, real user, synthetic. And when you see one of these, you can click into it to see more information about that. So for example, this appears to be an anomaly in our base page for base page time on the checkout page. So it says the previous hour average for base page was 137 milliseconds, but our baseline average was 61 milliseconds. And so what you can do is click on actions and then view details. You can also just dismiss this if this isn't a relevant issue for you, or you can go ahead and archive it. But if you view the details, this is going to take you over to, because this was a real user monitoring issue or anomaly that it detected. It's going to take you over there. It's going to have your base page selected, and it's going to be showing you, looks like the anomaly was right here. All right, the last one I'll mention is the revenue opportunity widget. So this was another new one that had been added to our new homepage, which we are calling now the Digital Experience Overview. So that would be under business. Among others, the business has some line graphs for conversion rate and revenue, but we're gonna look at this revenue opportunity widget here. And essentially what you're going to see with the revenue opportunity widget is it's going to pull in your most recent revenue opportunity report, and that'll be on the business analytics page, the business analytics revenue opportunity page here. And you'll be able to see that by all devices or desktop, mobile, and tablet. All right, so that's all I wanted to cover today. Thanks everyone for your time. I'm going to check the chat and the questions now, and I'm going to see if there's anything I can help answer for you guys. All right, so I do see one question. You mentioned the homepage. I don't see that dashboard in the list. How do I get there? Sure. So the homepage is actually a separate it's actually a totally separate page. And like I mentioned, we're calling it the Digital Experience Overview now. And you can actually get there by clicking the blue triangle icon in the top left. And when you do that, you're going to be taken to this Digital Experience Overview page. And this is where some of those new widgets were coming from that I had mentioned just before. With that, guys, we appreciate your time. And if you do have any more questions, we're always happy to speak with you offline. So feel free to reach out to us anytime. You can reach us at any of these emails. You can also reach us in support or submit a request or a question in our help center, and that's help.bluetriangle.com. For more information about our product trainings, like how to watch some of our past sessions and registering for upcoming ones, be sure to check out our help center. Again, that's help.bluetriangle.com. And when you're there, just click that big button for product training. All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. Thanks again for your time, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.